Let's restart.
Yeah, okay.
Hey, hi, hello. Welcome to the Monica and Alexis show. Today we have a guest appearance by one of my close girlfriends, Alexis, who rides a...
KTM 125 SX.
Yeah. Alexis and I met on the internet and we just hit it off and we've been really good friends ever since. She came up to hang out with me. So we're going to give you guys 3 awesome moto tips that you should use in your day-to-day riding. Tip number 1 is going to be form. I think it's really important that everybody focuses on form when they begin to ride, specifically turning your feet into your
Bike.
Right? Like,
yeah.
I don't know how else to explain it. So why is it important to turn your feet into the bike, Alexis?
Well, when I was first learning to ride, I mean, it's really common to just get on the bike and, you know, your feet will either be kind of straight or sometimes, a lot of times people's feet will be facing outwards. But if I did that, by the way. Like, I would face them outward. I was really lucky. I had some good tips. So they were always yelling at me, don't be doing that. So I, turn my toes in. So it's good because when you're going into deep ruts, if your toes are pointed outwards, you can catch your toes. You know, with you on enduro, you could maybe catch a vine or something. Which
That's true. Yeah.
Can get really sketchy.
Or rocks or stumps. Like Jake broke his foot because he hit a stump.
Yep, and all it takes is just like being past the fulcrum of your foot and hitting, and just pulling your foot off the bike.
That's so true.
But it also, when you turn your feet in, it allows you to apply pressure with the inside of your knees on the bike, and so you automatically are going to squeeze a lot more, which is really important when you're cornering, but also when you're jumping, because you don't really want to, you want to be over the bike, you don't want to be sliding back.
It's easier to leverage the weight of the bike when you're grasping the gas tank. You're basically one with the bike. So wherever the bike moves, you move, or whenever you move, the bike moves.
Yeah, and I think we both talked about how, like, it was important to take videos of you, of your form, because it can be so easy to think you're above the gas tank. It's kind of scary because you always feel like people are like, go get up on the gas tank, and you think you are, but then you're like still a foot back. So yeah. Just really looking at yourself and humbling yourself and by actually looking at what you're doing.
And that should be our second tip. So second tip should be put your crotch all the way up on your gas tank because your bike is going to be easier to turn that way.
Yeah, sorry, I'm like 5 years old. I'm like, she said crotch.
Because no, it's really funny. I took a riding school when I first started riding, and one of the things was no matter how heavy or how big your bike is, the more closer you are to the gas tank, the easier leverage you have, again, to turn your bike.
It's the fulcrum of the bike, too. So, like, you'd think that if it was in the middle of the bike, that's where the weight distribution is, but it's heavier up front because that's where the engine is and stuff like that. So, if you think about it, like if you're sitting on top of a bucket, if you're right in the middle of it, you're more likely to be stable. But if you're anywhere outside, then the bike's going to go in different ways and you're more likely to fall or wash out or a lot of things. But when you're up on the gas tank, you feel weightless, and it's a way to be. Once you feel it and you know you're there and you get it, it's really nice. But it can be really hard to get the balls to do it.
Right. Even like something as easy as people telling you to stand up. Like, you're not going to get it up until you start riding and practicing it. And like the little reminders like, oh, hey, I'm going to a turn. Make sure your crotch is all the way up on your gas tank so you have better leverage. Like, something as little as that can change your whole riding.
I think it does, because most people, you feel so unstable when you're going, if you're not on the gas tank when you're going around the corner, like, you lose your balance, going all over the place. Your front's washing out, your back's washing out. You're not gonna.
Right, you're like very squiddy. So if you're like up front, you're more in control, and also you're less likely to like tip over, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just grab that, just gas it on through, give it a little gas, zoom. Anytime, if you're getting a little squirrely and you're up on the gas tank, if you give it a little gas, then you'll zoom right out of the corner and you won't fall. If your bike gets a little squirrely and you're too far back, then you're gonna fall over because the weight distribution, it just, I don't know, that didn't sound right, but you know what I'm saying.
No, I know exactly what you're saying.
This is my first Moto Tip Monday, so.
Love this for us. I love how I like grab your wrist. I'm sorry. Tip number 3. For tip number 3, we're going to talk about tire pressure and the importance of having proper tire pressure. So number 1, having hold on, let me rephrase that. Tip number 3, we're going to talk about tire pressure and the importance of tire pressure. Alexis, would you like to start off on why it's important to have good tire pressure?
So I will say this is something I was really bad about. When I first bought my KTM, I've only had the KTM I have now for 3 years, and it came with, I haven't changed the tires on it. So they were really old because the 2 people who owned it before me, they actually never really rode the bike and had it for a long time. So my tires, they were really old and they got hard, and when they got hard they started cracking, but when they were hard I actually couldn't tell that there was no tire pressure in them, so it got I had like 5 psi in my tires. So just don't be like me. It's really dangerous when you're jumping, and just with weather, the tire pressure can change overnight.
Climate change, right? So if it gets colder, your tire pressure can disseminate. Is that the right word?
I'd have to think about this at that time. Cold air, I think, condenses, so it would like, the tire pressure would get less, I think, inside of it. I would have to think about scientifically what would happen. It would probably make the tire be more flat and allow for more friction, but hot air expands, so that, you just have to take that into consideration.
I don't know. Another fun fact is that there are dates on your tire, so you want to make sure that you're not using a tire that is probably like a year older than what you're riding, because that can also affect the tire from dismantling or like disassembling, like yours cracked.
It's dangerous. I mean, I really should have changed my tire sooner. Sometimes being frugal is not a good thing.
No,
it's not safe.
But on the basis of being frugal, you also have to take into account these dealerships. They don't exactly rotate out the tires when they're supposed to.
That's true.
So they'll literally sell you whatever they have in stock. So it's really up to you yourself to check the dates on the tire. And also, tire pressure is really important when you are getting into rocks, enduro riding. Like Alexis said, for her, tire pressure, having low tire pressure would not be effective or very good for her because she can wreck very easily. Whereas tire pressure for me, I'm riding on rocks, and less tire pressure allows me to have a little bit more grip. Then we get into things like bibs and other sorts of tires that we can utilize to make that riding a lot simpler and a lot smoother for us. But if you don't have a bib on hand, you can still rock a regular tube, just lessen your tire pressure, and you can run that across rocks or creeks.
Yeah. Check your tires before you ride. It's important. It really is.
I don't even know what the normal tire pressure is, like 20, 30?
This is how much I check mine. Listen, this is a video for us just as much as you, okay? Like,
I have no idea what the standard is.
I think you're right about what you said. I don't even want to let the words come out of my mouth.
Hold on, I need to Google.
I'm pretty sure it was like 20 when I just filled it up 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
I'm gonna Google it. It
really makes a big difference, because I went from not being able to make corners very well because there was literally no pressure in my tires to, being able to corner a lot better. So little things like this that I know we're not the only people who don't check that make a huge difference. It really is the little things that make a big difference.
Girl, we're way off.
Oh shit.
Are you ready for this? 15 is too much for most conditions as standard.
I was gonna say 15, 20, but I didn't want to say that. Am I crazy to think that? Oh, okay.
Front 8 to 10. 10 to 12 tubeless.
Okay, so
15 psi is pretty high for woods riding.
My 4 or 5 psi wasn't, we're only 50% down.
It's fine.
I was gonna guess 15, but honestly, it's crazy because my road bike is 115 psi.
And that's the thing. I was like, I think it's 30 because of my mountain bike.
I kind of thought 15, but I felt kind of stupid saying it, to be honest, because I was like, I really don't know. But that's what I just remember. It says it on the tire. You can also Google it.
It does say it on the tire, yes.
Yeah, along with the date, it actually says what it means. So you can just, if you can read, that's possible.
Love that for us. Okay, that wraps up Moto Tip Monday with Monica and our special guest, Alexis. Hope you guys enjoyed this week's video. If you have any questions, let us know in the comment section below, and we'll catch up with you guys next week. Thanks for coming by.
Bye.
Bye.